Hello, hello. Oh, sorry for that shake there. Zoom in just a little bit. I hope everyone is doing well. Let's see here. Okay. So I hope everyone is having or had a good week. Let me know if you can hear and or see me. Sorry, I keep moving my camera there. Good morning, LaFrance. How are you doing? I hope you are well. Let me know if you can hear and see me as I wave my hands there. Just going to get myself set up. We are awesome. Awesome. Thank you. We are going to be working on our creep on June just a little bit. This one has really kind of sort of um, stumped me a little bit. Nothing too bad, but yeah. Um, been doing a lot of changing, meaning, okay, I want to do this. Well, now I'm going to do this and all of that fun stuff. So, kind of been like in a holding pattern almost. But I did some things. I am doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. Appreciate that. Let me make sure I have my pencil. Must have my scissors. Grab those as well. All right. So here I was also, again, I've just been flip-flopping when it comes to this journal. So we did our cover, and I was debating whether to make another one because this is it's a nice chunky size um, spine, and I just seems like all of my journals are going that way, and yeah, I don't want them to. But this is if I'm not mistaken, a 3.5-inch spine. Yes. And as you can see, I have not sewn my signatures in yet because I think I'm going to work on them before I sew them in um, into the hidden spine. I've done a lot of laying out of what this massive book is going to be. And there was something that Tracie did that I just thought was phenomenal when she did it. And I'm actually considering doing it as well. So I think I'm going to hold off sewing into this album. There's a lot that I want to do to that that will be horrific. Not as in horror, but as in distressing, beaten up, inking, and all of that fun stuff. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're just going to have our pages here. Now, you can see that I did do a lot of the prep. Now I'm bringing out my post-its because I need to know this is the first one. That's the second one. And then we've got our third. So not only we're kind of making this journal, if we remember, not only with the ledger pages, and what I mean by the ledger pages, that is these. This is the ledger part of the journal, but it's also going to be an advent. Good morning, Cordelia. How are you doing? So it's also going to be a Halloween advent journal as well. So that's why we've got day one and all the components in that, and then day two as well. But there's going to be a lot of writing space in this, with what I'm thinking. So every once in a while, we've got these journal pages, and then I've got an idea, very inspired from an old video from a crafter that I was watching to make those, but I'm still on the fence with that. But I did get all of these very rough cut because they are going to sit on these pages like this. No pockets, just being that journal, that ledger part. So that's what we're going to work on, and hopefully it will all, come out. I don't know how well. It's, I'm just saying. Good morning, Maddie. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So we're just going to get creative. I've tried to grab things that I thought that I would need. I'm sure there's things that I did not grab. So that'll be fun when it comes through. I think what I am going to do first is just show what these are going to look like. So again, these are the journal pages, and I kept them in an order for what goes with what. Because again, couldn't put these together as journal pages. I mean, you could have, but these two that are kind of meant to go together would have been separate from each other. So I wanted to make sure that these were all together when it came to these pages. So yeah, lots of thoughts, and I know I am not making any sense at all. But what my thought, oh, I need my glue, can't be without my glue. Oh my goodness. So what my thought is, and I'm going to keep this like this for right now, I don't want the things to come out, is I'm going to ink, and I'm going to be using 2 inks, and I have to cut down my nails. This is not going to go well. Things are going to fly today. They are going to fly across the screen. I can just feel it. And I'm going to ink heavily on these pages. I'm just going to push that off to the side. And as usual, gotta grab something. There we go. I'm going to first come in and around with Vintage Photo. And again, they were very roughly cut. They weren't even cut. This I used a ruler to tear, and then these, all the sides, were literally hand teared. My hand was cramping after that. It was not fun. And I kind of followed a line. She had all kinds of different lines in there for that. Let's do this one. So I want to come in pretty far or at least I'm going to, on the pages with the vintage photo. You guys all know that I must have the vintage photo. There we go. And I changed my screen. It's actually a gray matte now. I'm really loving it. And then I'm going to come in with Scorched Timber. And that, we're just going to put that along the side. Just to give that darker edge to them. And I think they'll really stand out on the page. Now, you could also use black soot, and that's fine as well. I do think, although it's probably my brain, that there is a difference between the two, but it's slight. I think my brain is just like, okay, I can see that. So, yeah. So that's how these are going to look. And I think when I put these on, I'm going to have them coming out. So they're going to be at different angles. So I need to make sure, now that I've said that, I did double print them. And I did that. I always do that with pages because I never know what I'm going to do. And in this case, this is actually going to replace adding lace. Possibly. So when this comes off the other side, and it's never going to be off the top, it's always just going to be on the sides, we'll be able, and I'll probably mess up these tops. We'll be able to see something and not just plain white. Nope. See? There we go. All right. So like this one here, we're going to have that come off like that. And then this one here, that's going to come off that edge. So very different. Now I could make these pockets or tucks if I wanted to. I don't know. What do y'all think? Hello, T. How are you doing? No, this is not Pink Monarch Prince. I know, surprising, right? This is Tracie Fox. This is her Creep on June for 2025. And it's a ledger theme. Of course, she came out with 3 huge collections for this. It's got a Monster Poe theme that goes through it. So you've got ledger pages, and then of course you've got your solid pages. And then there was a set of all of the bases, and I'll be showing you those because that's what we're really going to work on today. And then she had ephemera. And her ephemera was a lot of cards. So, yeah, she outdid herself again. It just, she's just, I just love it. So that's how these pages are going to look. I like the way that that torn edge comes off, but I want it to have that crooked feel at the same time. So like that one's going to go there and that one's going to go there. Just don't know if I should make them tucks, or at least make this one a tuck. Decisions, and I'm tapping, and you all are sitting there going, okay, she gonna make a decision? Let's see. All right, here we go. This one's going to be completely glued down. So I'll meet it in the middle. You guys are really going to see how I create. All right. So that one's going to go here. And when I show these two, I'm not going to continue to show the other ones. These are all going to be set up like this. So we're going to get into the days, the good stuff. But yeah, I did a lot of thinking on this one. This one was just tough. I kept on. Now this one, I think I'm going to make a tuck. So yeah, I think I'm going to go straight here and then down here, and then this will be a tuck that will sit there. Well, let's see how that works. That may not stay. Let's go straight up here. And see, it's going to be interesting. All right. So let's do that. And let's do that. What my concern is, make sure there's no glue there. What my concern is, that's a big tuck. I don't want it to get caught on the page. And it doesn't look good. So that's what the edges will look like coming out. So we don't have to use lace. We don't have to do that. We can do just these edges, and it gives that journal feel, so to speak. Hello, Anthony. Good morning. So that's how those pages are going to be set up. Now, I'm not crazy that they're both going the same way, but you know what? We're just going to live with it. Yes, we are. And then I just want to clip this on here because there is something that I'm thinking about doing, but I'm not sure yet. So let's just do one more. And then we'll go into our days, and I'll show you what the bases look like. Anthony, you're always here. Why do you say you're finally here? And as I'm going around these edges, they're going to get more scrappy, which is what I want. And then we'll remember to do the other side. So how was everyone's week? I was getting caught up on videos. saw some really cool stuff. I only got to, I watched Biddy's yesterday, but I was only in there for about 15 minutes. So I was there in spirit. I had a wedding to go to. So that kind of threw me off. Oh, nice, Maddie. Yeah. Now I've been up for a while. Nice with the coffee. I wish my cat woke me up, Cordelia, at 6:30. My cat wakes me up at 3. Yeah, he's precious. So yeah, very heavy-handed with the inks, as always. Oh, Cordelia, I'm so sorry that you were not feeling well. No, my cat's entertainment is me. So yeah, it's all right. I wake up very early anyway. I don't sleep well. On a regular basis, I don't sleep well. And then we'll just do the other side. But yeah, I was very upset. My day was off. Not seeing Betty. Did I do the other side on it? Yeah, I did. Okay. Not seeing Biddy. But I got to see some of the things that she did. I went back into the replay. Cool things, as always. And we're just going to do the same thing. So we're going to angle out these pages just a little bit. And I want to make sure this time that they're fanning out. And I think these two, no, this one's going to be flat. And that one was up high. Not that high. And then this one will bring low. And then for right now, I'm going to make this one a tuck. I don't know if it's going to stay that way, but we'll find out. And I want that to go like that. I can always change it if I change my mind or if I think these are too floppy. That's what I don't want. I just don't want them to be floppy. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I got to get back into the craft roulette cards. But there's things that I'm almost through it. Almost through getting it all settled with the schedule. And so there you can see, you know, you've got those edges that come out. And then you've got that. So that's what these pages, all the ones that look like this, are going to look like. Now, there's going to be more ephemera that'll be added to these, possibly. Um, Not quite sure. I think the ephemera's going to go on the day pages. So let's do that. Now I'm going to take this one and put this up in the corner. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Okay, you're going to record that. I'll make sure to keep my eye out for that too. That's awesome. Everything Biddy makes is awesome. I think the one card I was, and again, I was in, I think I was an hour in, maybe. I saw the one with Mary Poppins on it, and she was moving into the one, I think, with the Beatles, the band, not Bugs. Okay, so, ooh, wait a minute, let me get back into this real quick. I want to get that into that spot. All right. So, our days. So, like I said, what Tracie also created are the bases. So, Creep on June is basically a take on a Christmas Advent, or, you know, that idea of a Christmas Advent. So what I did, and this even took forever and a day. Okay, yes, these are samples. That's a whole other story. Okay, so this and this go together. So for there's even more bases. So it could either be like I cut the bottom fold off and then there was a fold over here. So this would be a pocket or an envelope. Um, or it's an envelope, or it's a trifold tag system. So those are the bases. And then at every base, there's a snippet from Poe. So we have that. And then there's all of these bits of ephemera. So you can see, all right, my brain was already starting to work when it comes to this. And again, I did print these double-sided as well. And this page is actually from her Creep papers, which is separate from her Creep on June. She has this whole kit just of creepy looking grungy papers. So I just chose one and they all have this inside. Then I took the bases again, printed them a second time, but two to a page. So instead of one page being one base, or sometimes she had 2 pages for one base set, I took them and I put 2 of the bases per page. So they were half a page on one. So they were smaller. So everyone's also going to have a small one. And then I just reversed the order so that no 2 were the same, because that would have made me crazy. Because that's just what we do. Just... And what the smaller ones are going to be is your daily horror film to watch. Now, even, and again, this one of these this backing here, again, they were printed double-sided. I just chose one. Yes, I actually chose flowers. But this is actually part of the Creep set as well. And then my scrap, I'm using my scrap coffee dyed papers, and I printed on them. So I chose like a horror type font that I have. And then I just went through and chose the films. So it'll be a film each day. Now at first, I chose all horror. And again, I don't watch horror films. I like thrillers. I like mind benders. You know, I don't like the blood, guts, and gore. No, that to me just really throws me off. Um, so chose all the movies, and I'm like, okay, this is really depressing. It really was depressing, and I'm like, okay. So then for each of the ledgers, it's a character. It's, you know, wolf, you know, wolfman, witches, mummies, angel of death, grim reaper. So I'm like, okay, well, let me search for movies with that, and then I'll have them surrounding the ledger. So to coincide with the ledger as they're coming around it, you know, if you're on the werewolf side, you know, you'll have werewolf movies and all of that. That really didn't work too well because some of them didn't have a lot of movies. But what did happen was they're all not horror films. So, one of my favorite movies is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yes, I am aging myself. Yes, I used to go to the midnight showings. Yes, we dressed up. We threw toast at the screen. Very interactive. Awesome. I just love it. But I also love Tim Curry. I've, it was a phenomenal movie for me. And I know not everybody likes it. Um, so we have that. For the werewolf, I chose Teen Wolf. So not all of them are horror, so to speak. Um, they just have that concept of it. So that's what I went with. So for this one, this is what the inside's going to look like for this. And then there's going to be this. I found a stamp set. I was digging through my stash, made me see a lot of things, get a lot of ideas when I do that. And I found this old stamp set. It was by Simon Says. It's from 2015. Yeah, wow, right? But the numbers were perfect in size, in look, and that's what they will look like. So each one will have a day associated to it. Now these are going to be pinned in. Why is that catching? Am I folding it wrong? All right, I gotta trim that down maybe. These will be paper clipped in to the page, and then there's going to be something, the number hanging from it. So if somebody wants to change the order of their horror films or their films, they can. I like it to be universal to the recipient, so they can move these around if they want. Or I was thinking on just gluing it, making, which would make it a pocket, and then it would just fold open. So, not quite sure there. But at some point, yes, it will have its number probably on the paper, the page itself. All right? So that's what we're looking at when it came to that part. Oh, Anthony, you love it too? I do. I love it. I love Rocky Horror. It is, and I will be the first one to admit, hello, good morning, Flo. Um, it's just, it's an odd movie, but it's awesome. So for these, what I want to do is create an opening. And this is not going to bode well. So I want to create an opening here. So that this sits here, but this still closes. I want this to be maybe in here, but then again, I don't know how I would do that because that would just probably make me nuts. Although I could put that like that. All right, we're gonna try it. Let's just wing it, right? See, it does, doesn't it? Did you also go to the midnight showing? There used to be where I used to live this little theater. It was in a strip mall that was near me, and I hope I can see this. I've just guys, we are just winging it today. But I don't want it. Yes, you had to go to the midnight showings. They were the most fun. And if you're a people watcher, like I am, I could sit in a mall for hours and just watch people. Um, yeah. Mm-hmm. Some of their costumes were just magnificent that people created. They were just awesome. But yeah, I always had a lot of fun being interactive. All right, now I'm going to carefully cut along this line. I'm not worried about it being straight because I really don't know how this is going to work. I really don't like this craft knife. But it's working. There we go. Okay, so we have that. And then this won't sit like that. But this will do that. Okay, that's not too bad. Right? Then we're going to get some black cardstock. Gwen, good morning. I hope everyone's doing wonderful. How could you not dance, Maddie? The music was phenomenal because seeing Meatloaf like that, so young in that, it's just a fun, it's a fun thing. All right, I need some scraps. Hang on. Okay, don't want any white or ivory. Don't need any red. All right, I just need my scraps. All right, so I'm going to put a thin border of black around this. I already inked up the sides. And a very thin border. I was watching a documentary about the Rocky Horror, and it was amazing to hear that it was a complete flop. All right. So we want to do that, and I'm going to put a pencil line here. Because that will tell me that this, I'm going to put my hands here because we're going to put glue here. And we're going to put glue here. And we're going to make this a little pocket. Shift over just a little bit. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. Even though I say it'll work, I'm still trying to push it over. Okay, it worked. We're going to ink the inside. So anyway, there was this, just this little tiny, like I was saying, this little tiny movie theater. And it's funny, as I was watching the documentary, that when they brought it out, the movie itself, it flopped. It flopped bad. But they were still determined. I'm being careful with this paper because I think I printed these on 60 pounds. So I don't want it to bend too much. And I probably should get a smaller thingy. You all know what I mean. Oh yeah, there we go. That helped. All right. So we have that, so that when we open this, we have this little pocket tuck in there. I'm going to keep that scrap. So that we can add whatever. Now, I could put this in here, but I don't want that hidden. Well, maybe I do. So, her ephemera was characters, scenes, and everything else. So what I also did was I went through and I read each of the snippets. So this one's at midnight in the month of June. I stand beneath the mystic moon. I stand amid the roar of a surf tormented shore. Now, it doesn't look like it's a tormented shore, but I saw the moon. So each of these pictures here are associated with the statement. So I had to go through and I read every one, brought back so many memories, and matching up one of these. So that's what I was looking at there. So, but what I also want to do is I need to make a closure for that. And I think I am. I think I am just going to glue this down and put this on the inside. So they're not going to be too, I don't want to say fancy. I'm actually, when I was overthinking this, because that's exactly what I was doing, I was overthinking. It was just stopping me. I just couldn't come up with the idea. And once I said, all right, let's just go with what the kit is, I had better luck. Alright, and now we're going to go around the outer edge, because I want this to be able to open up on the page. That's the one thing that I want this to do. I should have inked this before I cut it. Okay. Go with me. I will win. And we'll just do it that way. Should have put my paper down first, but that's okay. All right. And then on the outside, we'll use the scorched timber. Paper. And for this, I'm just angling and I just want to come up on that edge to take away. Basically, I just want to take away the white after you cut it out. And I'm okay if the pages get bent. To me, that adds all the interest in the world. All right. So then we have that and that. And then that is going to sit on this page somewhere here. And it's going to be adhered. Now, I could also put it here so that this flips out off the edge. But I think I kind of want it here. It's not like we're going to write. They can. But, I mean, they can slip something up underneath. So it's going to be secured in here. And I think these are going to be clipped some way. So all of this right now is writing space. I could even make that a tuck. And maybe I'll do that as well. Yeah. Let's do that. So it's going to be awkward working on this because everything is staying separate. I'm not sewing in the signatures until the very end, which is not normal for me. Okay. So we could do a couple different styles of closures. We could do a string closure where we take two circles. We can put one here, one here. We can add a brad, a mini brad, and then have paper wrapping around. That's one way we could do this. Is this one smaller? Oh, very little. This one I think is too big. I know what I can do. I do like the smaller one. I think that one was just too big. I can pick it up. So yeah, I think we're going to do that. So we'll have one up here. And we'll have one here. Yeah. Oh, metal. Yay! And then we'll create a dangle. Oh, put that in the wrong spot. No idea how many of these I'm going to need. All right, obnoxious sound. I'm going to do 5. This is pretty thin. Because I really just want to use my scraps. And I think yeah. So I'm going to glue 4 of them together. So similar to the way that I do, you know, my charms. I just keep layering. And then we'll do these 4. Did I do? Okay, that's 4. Yeah. And then I'm going to put my holes through those. Sorry for the reach. And my pokey tool. And we're just going to eyeball the center. And I'm going through the thick, the one that I just layered. Because then I'll be able well, I think I'm going to change that up. Nope. I'm going to put this through. Open that up. Then I'm going to put this one on so that that's hidden in there. I'm going to grab a pen, push down so that it gets flat. And then we have that nice and hidden in there. Now there's a small piece that's coming out, of course, and that we will just clip. And bend so that we do not have a sharp edge. Because of course that's what I created now. No more sharp edge. Yes. No one should be hurt. Sala, good morning. Sean, good morning. All right, we're going to push that down, make sure it's flat. Add our glue, add our piece. Now, I bet you're all wondering, okay, how's the string going to wrap around? Because I was wondering that myself. When we make these this small, I always forget, okay, I got to put something there. Make sure there's nothing, because that one side just wants to peek out. I just filed my own nail. It's one way to cut my nails down. So I have this little thing. You could also use a hole punch thingy. You know all what I'm talking about. And I'm just going to put a few of these underneath. And then that will raise it up just a little bit so that the string can wrap around. We just need something there. How many do I got? All right. And now we will just put a dot of glue, and we're going to put a dot. And this is going to be 10 times worse because of my nails. I just need this raised just a little bit. This does not have to be perfect, but I need it just to raise up. And where is, you know, there we go. Dun, dun. Because we're not going to use a thick twine or anything like that. It's going to be really thin. Perfect. Squish that down. Just a little bit. Now we're going to do the other one and make myself nuts. Oosh. All right. So now that we have those in place, we'll just set that aside. And here's the twine that we're going to use. So now I'm going to take this, put glue on that. We're going to somewhat set that in the center. And I'm okay that my brad is a little off. I'm a little off, so let's just go with it. And again, I'm just eyeballing these to be in the same spot. I'll let those set. Okay, Anthony, first of all, I am so sorry that you were not feeling well. Sorry that you were coughing up a lung, as you put it. And you can see my twine goes perfectly underneath that. Now, I do have to make this longer because, yeah, I went to a wedding yesterday, so I kept my nails long, and I forgot to cut them. There we go. Going to let that go like that. I wish I made that longer, actually. And then if I take this will close like that. And that's wrapped around way too many times. No one needs to do that. My goodness. Here we go. Now, off of these, I'm just going to cut this. I saved that. I also have in my stash some stamp type thingies, these, and I thought they would be cute, from Kleeblatt Creations. But yeah, I thought these would be cute as like a dangle. Coming down. What's that? The other side's green. Yeah, well, let's go with that one. We ink to get rid of the white. You could certainly use the pieces that Tracie had added, because again, you can cut them down or print them down smaller. I'm just going to use what I have in my stash. So I'll put a little bit of glue so we can trap the string. Of course, we're not doing a good job of trapping the string. I want that to be down from that just a little bit. And put that on top. And just squish it down. Now, you can add one up here as well, or you can snip it. Let's snip that. That's gonna... If I made it longer, I would have kept it. So that is our little pocket thingy. I don't know what they're called. Sala, I'm with you. I believe that, you know, I'm good with crooked. I'm good with wonky. Yeah. I like it. Embrace the imperfection, as so many say. So the twine, yes, it is. It is very thin. This is awesome twine. I'm not going to lie, though. it's up there. I mean, it's 100 yards though, and it's by May Arts. I get mine off of Amazon, but it's I use this for my poofs mixed with ribbon. I use this for my ornaments sometimes if I'm intertwining something. It's really awesome twine, but yeah, it's up there. Nobody needs to. Why does that pin there? Nobody needs to break the bank, but it is nice and thin. So that's our first one. So look at that. We got one done and it only took us over an hour. So, yeah. I mean, no matter which side I put this on, we're going to have that flap that comes over if somebody wanted to write in that. I don't know why they would, but again, I always like to have those areas. I do like putting this way though because of the way this hangs, and I want to make sure that it doesn't hang out the bottom. And we can make this, or we could put it straight on and make it a pocket. This, I don't think I'm going to make a tuck because these pages are going to alligator out. I just know it. They're going to get thick, and this thing is just going to start going. I think it's actually going to look like the way that it does with these pages in there. I really do. Which is unfortunate, actually. But it is what it is. We'll see. But, you know, we are going to make that a pocket. Yes. Here we go. We're going to put glue down. I thought about clipping, using paper clips for each one of these and putting them in that way. Yeah, no, that quickly went out of my brain. All right, I'm going to put this right there because, again, I don't want the charm to come off the bottom. I know, I mean, I've seen journals when the charms come out the bottom, but to me, it just feels like it's going to bend them all up and they get caught. I can remove that number 1. These are going to be clipped in. And what I'm doing with these got my scraps. See, like that was the old font that I was using. So I changed out a lot of the what do you call it? Movies. Because it was just really depressing. Alright, so here's my 1. And I do want to put the number sign with it so that they know it's a number. I was going to stamp directly on the page, but I don't want to do that now. Can you tell I love my circle punches? Nope. Need a stamping block. The I know, Sal. I can't help myself either. I just, I just keep adding and adding and adding. All right. Each one will be stamped differently. We're going to use black archival ink, and we're just going to stamp that. Yep, there's the number 1. And then, I don't know, should I stamp that in there? I don't like being confined. Can you tell? Hello, Kelly. How are you? I hope I did get your email. I responded. Hopefully you saw that. So this paper here, Sala, is from the Creep on June 2025 creation that Tracie Fox created. And she has bases, pages, and ephemera. So, of course, it's from the pages. Or no, those are from the base. These are actual bases that she created, and she did it in those papers. So, no, I didn't cut that envelope like that. No, not in any way, shape, or form. Okay, let's grab. I hope this table does not crash. So these are the little clips that I found. Yeah, I'll lose a lot of these. That is going to clip this in on the other side. Or there's a pocket that I'm going to create. That part, that's where I'm stuck. Guys, can you help? I'm just stuck on this. Now, I was going to create a pocket with claw marks. Have a good one, Anthony. Enjoy your day. Thank you for stopping by. But I could not get the claw marks right, and it was too big. Yes, I actually have a die that creates claw marks. I don't know, though, if I want to. There's going to be a pocket that sits in there. So yeah, that's the only thing that I can't figure out. Yeah. And for this, and I'm just going to keep going with my envelopes. So I'm just going to get some things torn here just to get there. We'll ink around this. Badly. Because then the other thing that I was going to do was to take this and then tear around it. I have all the components. I just, for some reason, and just glue it down. I don't need it to be perfect, and I don't want it to be perfect. This is the one good thing that the nails are good for. So I have that. That's going to sit somewhere. Either I create a pocket, or what I want to do is clip that on there like that. So I need something to hold this on this side of the page. Hello, Beth. Good morning. I hope you are having a great day. I'm just having a moment. Yep. So that's what I'm looking at. Or I could create a collage over here. So that's where I get stumped. Let me open this because I could also do this. And then that. And maybe we just figured it out, and then I can just put more collage pieces over here to create a pocket. That might be the way that I go. But you know what? I've spent too much time on this with you guys. You are all falling asleep, and you need more coffee, I'm sure. Let's move on to day 2, shall we? Wow. So these are all the components for day 2. And I am going to grab some of those so I have them, because then this won't sit next to me and it won't fall. Because that was getting ready to crash. And we cannot have that. Not at all. So for day 2, I've got that. And then that's the statement. This is the mini version of her base that will hold The Exorcist. Yeah, I never even made it through that one. That will be the horror film for that. And I'm just going to cover that up. But this is our main piece that we have. So each one will be different. And it's making me crazy. I have not watched anybody's video for the Creep on June series, and it's making me nuts. I made sure that I went through and subscribed to them all just to show that support and the inspiration that they'll give. But yeah. Alright, so this, we have like a book, we have a tag, and I think the tag will fit. It will. Although I don't think... I could create a hinge. Couldn't I? Woohoo! Okay. Alright. We can do that. So. There are... So, amazingly, whenever I print down a kit, now she also gave some of those, they're not big enough. Whenever I print down a kit, I do print multiple pieces or multiple times. So, like when it comes to the pages, I'll print the pages double-sided once, and then I will print the pages another time once at full scale and another time at 2 pages per one. Just so I can have options. And if I destroy anything, and I say that very loosely because for those of you that remember, I've been holding off telling you all this actually. Um, the so do you remember my Gothic journal? Um, so these are the pages from her creepy pages. So they're like kind of creepy, but I really like them because look at that. How can that be creepy? I think that's gorgeous, right? Um, so we had a little mishap with the Gothic journal. Yeah. So the album got destroyed. And it got destroyed because I dropped it. I was in my room cleaning, and I'm just going to fold this over. So I'm just laying this on top and folding this over at the top of where the pocket lies, which will then tell me, okay, this is where I need to cut this. And I think I'm going to cut it just a little bit higher. And I think I'm going to tear it just a little bit higher. So when the book fell out of my hands, and when it landed on the floor, it it tore, it bent at the spine. And the reason cleaning's the first mistake. I know. I wasn't really cleaning. I was organizing. And at the same time, this was about the time that I lost my sewing machine and realized that I lost the sewing machine. Yeah. So, when it fell, it was at a height, because of course I made it worse being on a ladder. I can laugh about this now. This was a very traumatic day for me. It was on so many levels. It's just, yeah. It just hit in such a way that the front cover tore away from the spine, and the back cover, I don't even know what the back cover did. It kind of did almost the same thing, but it's just not salvageable, which is fine. Now, on the good note, see, there is always a positive for me. Always, always, always. The good thing is the signatures that were sewn in are fine. Yes. Signatures were absolutely fine. The spine that they were sitting on kind of got banged up, but I can take them off, which is awesome. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to deconstruct, and I'll show you the pages in a, in a future video. But I will deconstruct it, and we are, I think it was a way for the universe to say that this was just too big of a spine, because that spine was like, I think 4 inches, 4.5 inches. It was just too big. So I think it was the universe's way to say, okay, we need to rethink this, and this is how I'm going to make you do it. So we are going to make multiple signatures out of it, but they're going to be themed. So that I'll show you deconstructing it if you want, if you would like to see that. Not too many people like to see deconstruction of a journal, but I mean, it happens. Wish it didn't happen that violently, but it happens. So, yeah, that was the closeout of the, that weekend when it came to that. All right, so now back to this. We are going to take this and we are going to add this here. So I want to glue that down. Oh, Maddie, yeah, I think I made it. When it comes to The Exorcist, I'm going through comments right now. I didn't make it too far. Yeah, no. So was not, just not for me. And I'm going to line this up along the bottom. We're going to make sure that it's straight. I am going to pull it away just a little bit from the fold so that it will fold. This is okay with the white. We're good because we can, yep, and it's there. We're not going to cut it. We're going to come in with our vintage photo, and we're really going to ink that up heavy. And then we're going to come in with our scorched timber, because I'm not sure where that's going to be seen, and we can do that along that edge as well. Just bring it all the way up so that it looks like it's going all the way up. All right, so now we have this and this. This piece is going to sit here, and we're going to take that all the way across. So I'm also covering now this up. But we're going to go into this piece, which I'm totally fine with. So I am going to first put glue here and here. Because this wouldn't be so bad. It didn't bother me that that was there, but eventually it would. Okay. So yeah. Very much horror. Yeah, no. So I'm going to lay that there. Make sure that's down. Should have inked that, but we can, because I can lift this up. It didn't glue solid yet. Paper's the best medium. It lets us have our moments. For this, I'm just going to go down into that and then come across the top so that when I fold this over, see, all gone. So yeah, that was my whole, I'm in the June-October hop. I'm actually really impressed. Following every day so far. Never thought I'd see the day. So the June-October hop, Sala, is that something, is that like a digital download that you can get, or is that through a group? Oh, did that? No, I need to add more glue to that. I know I've seen some things. I think I'm missing a lot of the pieces when it comes to the June-Tober. That's why I'm, you know, again, and it doesn't take much for me to be confused. Now I'm going to run my glue along the edge, but not the edge where the fold is. And then I'm going to bring this out so that this piece lies flat. I want that to lie flat in there. And then I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Not too long. So that's what we've got going on there. And then this tag will sit in here. It's not going to go all the way down because of that lip. I didn't cover up that lip. I usually always do, but I forgot. Okay. It's all right. So now, so that's going to fold right along that edge. So I'm going to carefully bring this over. I want to make sure that I'm not taking it right to that fold on the other side. Just really push that down, because now it's a little bit flatter. Or do we want to go this way? I think we want to go that way. What do you think? There you go. If you bend it a little bit, it does that. But I don't want to tear that back up. Just going to shave a little bit off of this. Not using a trimmer. We're going to go straight up. Boop. Okay. Don't follow that hop song, but was in general. I've been able to keep up with all the lives that I would like to follow. It's tough, right? It really is, Maddie, because there's just so many beautiful creations by so many people. It's tough to keep up. But I do try to set some time aside. Alright. So there we go. We have that style of folio with a little bit of beauty, even though it's in a creepy pack there. Now, what I could do, I really want to put this here. Why does that seem crooked? Yeah, you know, it's the little things that make me nuts. There we go. Let's see. Well, as I said, yeah, cleaning. No, I was actually organizing stuff. That is desperately needed, because unfortunately everything was just getting piled into this area. So I needed to get through it. But yeah, when it fell, I kind of, you know, stood there for a very long time and just kind of stared and went, really? Okay. Not liking what that's doing, but now that's fixed. Or I can leave that alone. So before I commit, because I do always want these to be the first thing that people see when it comes to the piece. Alright, things just need to get out of my way now. Nothing will crash. Those are going to move to the side. I'm going to do that. And we need this. Now, since day one it was over here, I'd like to put this over here. Well, yeah, this thing is just going to bulk right out. Don't do too many of those closures. And I think we can do the same thing. And I think for this one, we're going to make this one a tuck. Let's get that in. I'm just committing now, guys. This is going to get scary. Very scary. Because I really didn't think about this one. Just like, yep, it's going down. And then this. What's cool is we can have a cool closure. That can go there. And that's what's going to keep that closed. Okay. So that's kind of cool. Maybe, sort of, you never know. I think the tag is where I want to put this little piece. And I know I want to do the same thing. Or do I want to put this in here? That can be open for journaling. Because that's too tall. Although, I could put it here. Jizz! Sorry, guys. I sang a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright, so this is going to go in here, and it's going to be a tuck. This is going to go on here. Very thin border. Yeah, again, so that whole day, because I was moving everything, I had to rearrange all kinds of stuff to get to, because I wanted to check the outlet. I wanted to check the cord and the way I pack like no other. And sometimes things are just really stacked on top of each other. And it just, yeah, it really just went woohoo and had all kinds of fun um, when it came down. So I did just stand there for a little bit and went, really? Because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Now I actually want this to come up a little bit because you can see, it looks like, oh, there's a tag there. Oh, yeah, yeah, but it can't come out. And then, so we got a tuck here. That's also a tuck. I'm not on camera. So we got a tuck here. And then this will go in. And I'll probably add more ephemera as I go because that's very plain for me. I'm just saying. It's very, very plain. Just very plain. Hang on. Oh, I forgot to put out my BRB. All right. So I want to grab some black lace. I'm going to check my scraps first. Nope. Really? No black. Huh, no black, huh? Ah, great. And I just want to put just a little something on top of that tag because we can. I want to make sure I don't staple it shut because I would. We're going to put that there. And I'm going to use my tiny attacher. Good. Yep, I want it to wiggle. That's going to go into the pocket. And then the tiniest of paper clips that I will lose, that is going to create the closure. So yes, whoever the recipient is for this, they will go nuts. For this side, yeah. So all of these I'm saving because those are the ones that I will be stamping our numbers on, and plus I save these scraps anyway. Nobody needs to keep looking at that. Same thing. So again, these are just the smaller versions of the bases. So we always have something going on just a little bit different. But I did reverse them. So like the first one was actually the 30th of the bases. So this one, of course, then this is what the 29th is going to look like. So this is allegedly a pocket for this. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright. Now the problem is that will get, well, it doesn't matter. We're going for it. Not thinking. Nope, not thinking. So not thinking today. Let's see. I do, Sala, I like to watch things journal related as well. It's very inspiring. Sometimes I get stuck doing the same thing over and over, and I like to try new things. Now, one of the ways that I like to do that as well is just winging it, like today. Just saying. Yeah, I'm really winging it here. Because this one, yeah, it's kind of stumped me. But yeah, so many ideas. And I love watching them because then I'll sit there and say, okay, how'd they come up with that? That is really cool how they did that. I like to have lives also going on in the background when I'm working. You know, there's just some of those projects where I just need to get something done. I was, you know, commissioned to do a project and all of that. And I always ask, can I film it? Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. I mean, I always make sure I ask. But yeah, I'll usually just have it, and I get more work done when I do that. These, I'm just letting these get grungy. I'm putting the folds in. That's how I get those bends that come up. And then I lightly come around with the other. This is going to sit inside this. So let's get that glued down in there. Because these, I'm not putting these in yet. At least I don't think that I did that for the first one. Where did that? Yeah, I put it in the thingy. Because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to let that dry before I turn this over on itself. Sometimes it's just quicker to do this. Alright, now that that's dried, I put my nail in there so that that gets creased. And then I'll hold off doing the number because they're all going to be the same. We're not going to change those up. So now we've got that, and then that sits in here. We'll pocket, we'll put something on top of that. What do I want to put on top of that? No, I don't want to put anything on top of that. I'll probably have a charm coming off this one, or I may actually put a charm here and have that coming on, because I do like the ideas of the charms. Now for right now, I'm just going to put that right there so I don't lose it. You know what? I need to keep these on these pages because I have the funny feeling I'm going to lose something. So we've got 2 pages done. How far are we in? Oh, we're almost at 2 hours. And then these are these pages here. We have a tuck on this side. I think we'll figure out something to do there. Although I have an idea. I just don't know how to, I gotta figure out how to map it out. So let's do day 3. Let's see if we can get through 5 days. Because now I'm kind of getting on a roll. Just kind of, sort of. Not all the way. Just kind of, sort of. Get rid of my scraps. Alright, let's catch up on some comments. Don't y'all? Oh, Gwen, enjoy your watercolor background if you haven't left already. Enjoy! June-tober means a freebie every day in June from different designers. And in the YouTube hop, a creator makes something of that day's freebie every day. So a freebie and a video comes out every day. Oh! Okay. Okay, I thought this little piece was an arrow on my screen. Hi, Rebecca. How are you doing? Welcome. Dawn. Hello. Yeah, I got lots of power. Lots. Oh, Maddie, have a good day. If you're still here. All right, let's move on to day 3. We'll do a couple more. Yeah, I'm trying. I've really, Dawn, I was saying, I've really I'm overthinking the Creep on June journal, and I'm just not going with the flow. Now this horror film is Psycho, the Alfred Hitchcock. You have to have the classics, absolutely. And then these are the pieces that I pulled to go with this. But I think it was a rough start to the live. Sorry, guys. It was. I'm going to apologize. Because I had it in my head. I had the pieces mapped out. Just wasn't sure where I was going. All right. So this one, for the base, and that's what I'll call it. So we've got the term the base, which is the main component, And then we've got the Horror Daily. Okay? This one here is the Horror Daily, which is kind of a little different, and this piece is kind of a little, doesn't go in there. Neither does this one, but this one does. So see, yeah, automatic confusion. So I'm just going to get this ready because we can. And that one's going to sit right here. And then that'll flip over and that'll flip over. So that'll have a base to it. Well, why don't I get the inking done? So the main, so the base itself is actually an envelope. I think it's getting close to time for me to change out the thing on the, starting to shed. All right, so that's gonna go there. Let's just put that there because that's gonna go on that side, the opposite side. This is gonna go on this side. So this one is a cool, it's just a large envelope. And envelopes can let us do a lot of different things. Now, I could, for the envelope, is to literally glue it down onto the page and then the pieces would just open out. And then these two pieces would sit in here and create a pocket. That's one way, because that's going to kind of be my theme here. I'm going to be creating, these pieces are going to create tucks throughout. So hidden, because, you know, creepy, hidden, yeah, that's just what came to my mind. The other thing that we can do is, or the other thing that's fun to do when it comes to an envelope is to take them over your page and just clip them. Or you can glue them. And then I have this. Nope. Yeah, so not wanting to do that. I am so going with this idea. Yeah. And then the little pin, nope. Then I'm going to cut a slit in here. And this is going to tuck into that. Nope. Yep. That's going to be our thingy. These are technical terms that I'm using. All right. But I am also going to still continue the whole black cardstock around the pieces with a very, very thin border. I still want that to be part of this as well. Yeah, you know, Dawn, yeah, I overthink. Overthink. And it cripples me. Absolutely cripples me. All the time. Now, once, like today, once I got started in this, I'm like, okay, now I see what I'm, now what's in my brain that doesn't want to come out is starting to rear its creative head when it comes to what I was thinking. And yeah, that it just cripples me right down to the point where it's just like, okay, Des, just start. So that's one thing that's like a third, fourth thing that I love about doing lives is you got to do something, right? I mean, I don't know if anyone would appreciate if I just came on live and just sat here and talked. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm just saying. Um, I'm looking back on something here that I didn't. So yeah, we want to create. We want to, have our ideas. So for me to do that, okay, no, I didn't do that. All right, and yeah, I like that too. Um, oh, that's why that's that bulky. So I knew that last week I had said we're gonna do Creep on June. So all week I'm sitting there going, okay, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? What am I gonna do? And I really didn't know. So doing the lines, it does. It helps because I'm like, all right, you said you were going to do this. Let's do it. So now I'm starting to say, okay, now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting into the rhythm. All right, so we have that, and that is going to sit on our envelope like this. Because that's going to be our tuck for our envelope, our closure. So I like that. I like. Oh, let's do some inking the quick way. So yeah, very, very okay. That's okay. So Dawn's resting in a hammock. That's nice. Yeah, don't ever stop doing that. So even though you guys always say, because I hear it a lot, oh, I'm stuck. I don't know what I want to do. Okay, we do it too. We feel it. We feel the challenge and the struggle. It's real. It's real for everyone. Now, I don't think anyone's as bad as I am because I can just lock up. Now, what's funny is Biddy actually knows when I do this, when I lock up. And miraculously, I get a text from her. What's up, Des? What are you doing? And I come back and I say, nothing. So, yeah, it it absolutely happens. And I think I'm still concerned, or I keep my eye out because I don't want to get into the funk That's what I'm going to call it, the funk, that I got into the end of last year, well into the beginning of this year. I really don't. Um, that was not pleasant at all. All right, we are almost done. I should have taken care of all of the inking. And I'm just going to do outside edges of this. Very lightly. Okay. What is that? Okay. Um, oh, darn, you're doing dishes. Good for you. Yeah, no, I won't. I'm not. I did my clean. No. Almost. Almost did it. All right, so now I want these to come in, and I want this to sit here. So halfway. Let's see if I can do this. Let's put that there. Hopefully on somewhat center. Does it still come up? Yes. All right, and then that will tuck in like that. Cool. Why is that doing that? What's puffy? Why are you puffing? Don't puff. Oh, it's the air. Now I did all of my cleaning Friday morning. I took off work and got it all done because I know I wasn't going to be able to do it um, yesterday or today. I got to call it clean, but I can't. No, you cannot blame me for cleaning. And yes, so I love to talk with my hands. So yeah. All right, so now this is going to open, and this is going to sit in here, and we are going to make this a tuck. And again, we're not going to put it in there straight because that's not what I do. So yeah, I'm very so we've got that, and then this is going to sit here. Yeah, and then that'll flip. All right, I'm going to start using paper clips to just get this stuff clipped in so that we know. And we can keep on moving on and get through some more bases. What do you think? Now, I'm not sure if I am liking those. I'm getting these bags out of here. So let me, I'm going to pull these out. So see, without the bags, so far this is what the bulk of the journal is, because it's 8, this is 8 pieces of coffee dyed papers in each journal, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah, just 8. But because, yeah, that one's gonna not make me happy. But we're gonna go with it. We're gonna let it go. Let it go. So you can see how she's already. But again, we've got a 3.5-inch spine. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to set this aside. And honestly, I just want to make the pieces and just continue through. All right, so let's look at number 4. I even forget what's all in here. All right, this one is, of course, we had to have An American Werewolf in London. Both horror and a little funny. I'm trying to get one that's not so horror, because they are in here. So we've got that. Well, don't I appreciate that a whole lot of nothing, but nah, I couldn't do it. I like the fact that when I come on and do my lives, that we are going to create something, definitely, or we're doing something creative. Lots of crinkling of paper going on here. So it was a rough start on this, but now I'm moving along. All right, so this one. And I didn't do any of the inking, and nobody needs to sit here and watch me completely ink everything, because that's a biggie. She's a big one. Okay, so this is the piece that the American Werewolf will set. Now, this is not going to be fun because, hello. So this actually goes like this, and then it folds over, and then it folds over again. So it goes like that. So in reality, this needs to hold that. Okay, we can make that work. You just need to tear it down just a little bit more. And I know what you're all thinking, Des, just change the font. Nope. Nope. I am not going back to the computer and changing anything. I need to stay away from my computer. Yeah. Nope. All right, so this one is our base. It's a nice tall one, which is cool because I think that would look great there. And it can be somewhat hidden. Now, what would probably be cool is to make that fit perfectly in there. maybe short, sort of, kinda. I would like this, though, to be a pocket, because there's nothing on the back, but we can back it. Yes, we can. And I've got more scraps here. So we can actually put this on here. And I'm not worried about inking that yet. And we'll cut this out. Yeah, you know, again, it's fun to organize, Sala. I absolutely enjoy it. Because it does. When I keep organizing, I see things. I may see things different ways. I see things in new ways. I see things that I forgot I had. Telling you, it happens. And to me, that is the good part, because it helps to remind me, hey, I have this, and I look at those things. You know, now when I organize, I'm looking at stuff and saying, okay, this is why I need to trim my nails. You know, I haven't used this, or I totally forgot that I had it. What's the point? You know, let's send it to somebody who is going to enjoy it. I like the way that is coming up on that. And we can make a pocket in here. So let's look at these creepy papers, because I love these creepy papers. Some of them are beautiful, some of them are just really cool. So in a way, it helps to, you know, destash. And again, for me, destashing is good, because I love the fact that when I destash, the organization that I'm connected with, or family, friends that are interested, I can put stuff together for them. And I just love doing that. I love being able to do that. That's here. And we are going to trim some more. Oh, that was like right in the center, too. Trim. Trim. I don't want to cross my folds, even though these folds are kind of like all over the place. So, I will never do my whole room all at once again. Nope, there was only one time for that. Do it in bits. Do it in pieces. When we organize, just pick a section. So while our other ones were tucks, um, and stuff like that, this one we're going to make a writing spot. So, I like that. Um, so this one has like a very thin, like an eighth of an inch side to it. Now that's either going to stay or, that's just going to fold away. But now this one's going to be a pocket that turned into a writing spot. And now this one, we need to back this one on, of course not, black cardstock. And I went with those very tiny paper clips thinking, okay, they're thin. They're small. They're not going to add too much bulk. But we're going to say, it's fingers crossed, this one just doesn't get too out of hand. But I have the feeling it's going to. And that's all right. That's all right. Aw, Flo, you're sweet. Thank you. And I know you guys would. You would just be sitting there and just soaking it all in. But yet, no, I couldn't do that to you guys. My goodness. If that was the case, then I'd create a podcast. Alright, so now we have that. And I do want this to sit there. And I think because that's going like that, we'll keep this one kind of sort of straight. So we'll create that pocket as well. And we'll put that there. All right, that's that one. So you can see I'm on a roll. So now I'm just creating the bases and getting the base of the system down. And now I'm able to go back and ink around this and ink around that. You guys just don't need to see that. So let's get that there. I'm clipping it into the page of the journal. Up next, number 5. And then we'll probably let you go after number 5. Oh, I have a lovely voice. Aren't you sweet? I have lots of weird things to say. Yeah. I've created my own language over this. Yes. Absolutely. And I'm good with that. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Weird, sarcastic. And this is calm. Just saying. Something stuck. What is... No, nothing stuck. It's just clipped. Oh my. Alright, so we've got this. Oh, this is a fun cut. Yeah, no. Don't know how she does it. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Nope. So this one's got divots. Yeah, have you noticed I don't speak when I fussy cut? Okay, thank goodness for inking. We'll get this one cut, because that one's easy. Alright, now let's see. So this here is our base. Huh? So we've just got a tri-fold going on, which, I mean, can be interesting. I mean, I could just glue it down into the journal and have it do that, but no, that would be too easy. So we just need to see which way we're going to go with this one. This here, this is similar, so this is the mini one, and then our horror is Wolfen. I should change this with the other one because it's smaller. But we're not. Nope. We'll do that. And then we'll do this. And then that'll go there. And then that'll just get all closed up. Alright. Now, this one is a stumper. Kind of, sort of. Because I really want it to do this. Sorry, tapping and thinking. I know this is going to go here. And then this could definitely go in here. And again, I can continue to add things to the inside. I think next week we're going to play with jelly plates. What do you think? I'm just saying. I don't know if this was going to be done by June. So we got that. So again, the whole element of the surprise when it comes to, or because that picture matches what this is saying in a way. There's a snippet in here that matches what's going on. Maybe it is. Now, this piece is also making me, again, I love metal. I love metal in my journals. But if I add it, it's going to add bulk. Yeah. But you know what? It's just going to. So I've got speckled edges going on here. And yeah, of course, you're going to do that. And I'm going to put one here. And I'll put one here. because we can. I mean, they're small. I could like hammer at them and make them flatter, but yeah, that would do wonders on the camera. So let's not do that. We can do this every so often. Good morning, Kim. I'm sorry, my thing was not, or my thing. The feed's not moving, so I have to move that up. So sorry I missed you earlier. Welcome. We have that. Yeah, it's, I just don't want to get back into that. I don't want to get back into the funk yet. I'm catching up with you guys. I just don't, I just don't want to do it. It was not pleasant. It was kind of sort of borderline scary because I didn't know if I was going to come out of it, to be very honest. I did not know. And even my husband was like, hun, you haven't been in your room in a while. Nope. Nope, I'm good with it. Nope. So it even kind of, had him a little worried. I'm just putting tape over even though this isn't moving, I do like to just put some tape over that, and I can't find my fabric tape. It's usually what I put around it, and then this way they won't move. Plus this will help hold this down. I am going to put that on wonky because we can, and I can still ink around it. It's all good. Alright, so we have that. And then we're going to have this. This just needs to get darker. And then we'll be putting that in the center for another tuck. And then we have that one. And this will be fun to add stuff to the top and all of that fun stuff. I'm looking at the comments here. Oh, but Flo, if you could only see everything outside of this, yeah. It it is. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm lifting things. I'm waiting for something to fall, to be very honest. I'm absolutely waiting for something to just hit the ground and go down. Because I do believe it's going to happen with this. All right, so we got through 5. That's not too bad. It's more than what I thought, and I think there's hope here. I think this is going to go out like that. Um, when it comes to these, I think it's going to be about the same width as the other ones that have the paper bag in them. And that is, it's literally the spine that I have. There's no room. When I push it, it's flat. It's a perfectly squared album, which I'm okay with. And again, there's something that I'm contemplating doing that Tracie actually did, and it was really it was really cool. Um, so we shall see. I'm letting the album be last. These will not, as I said in the beginning, I had said the signatures are not going to be sewn in yet until the pages are done. And trust me, it's driving me crazy because these pages are going all over the place. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm gonna lose a page. Page is gonna get out of whack. It's gonna get out of order, and that's just gonna make me nuts. So, um, so there's that. That's how my mind is working right now. Uh, but I do want to get these settled into their place. These two are settled. And again, these are what the ledger pages look like. This is completely glued down. This one I've made a tuck. And I'm keeping this here because I have an idea of what I want to create on this and what it's going to sit on. I've just got to find the right thing. And I'll find it. And then we just start creating and putting the pieces in. So I think, I think it's okay. That those brads are really throwing me off. So I think if I didn't do those brads in the front, I don't think it would be that thick. But we're good. And then here's the other one. This one's completely glued down. And then this side is a tuck when it comes to the werewolf. And you can see I've got the werewolf movies going around it. Because that's Wolfen. And I think, yeah, that's another page here. So this is 6. I think this might be one of the non-horror. Let's see. Oh, well, Silver Bullet. That's Stephen King. It's horror. Where's, I swear, I put some in here that were not horror. Teen Wolf. See? Teen Wolf. Not horror. When it comes to that. So, yeah, I didn't want to put total horror. I put Young Frankenstein in here. That's a classic. Um, so absolutely. All right, let me get caught up in my comments here because you all are going to town. Everyone's cleaning. That's awesome. I'm keeping you company as you're cleaning. Let's see. Flo, I do love your priorities. Yes, I agree. Yes, those two, they're awesome to watch. I like it when I'm working from home because I can have Biddy and Didi all in my background. Absolutely. I just start doing that. You guys almost are the, when you guys do your lives, you're almost like one right after another each day. It's awesome. So I like working from home because I can just have that in the background. see. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Yeah, it is. It's kind of, it's getting there. It's getting there. Oh, what journal are you working on, Dawn? What, do you have a theme or are you just having fun with it? I love having just fun with journals. Oh, Stella, have a good one. I hope you didn't leave too long ago and I missed you. Did See, I thought Werewolf in London was kind of cool. Because it had some comedic spots. I didn't like the, the blood and the gore, but it was okay. Would I watch it again? No. Yeah, just no. Mm-mm. Yes. Okay. So I am going to. Please tell me this is 7. Yes. Okay. So this is 7. So I do have some non horror in here because not everybody's. That's the Blair Witch Project. That was just I saw that one too. Very odd. That one was just odd. What's this one? Carrie. Love Carrie. I love Stephen King. I am a very huge Stephen King fan. I have every one of his books. I collect his books. Hocus Pocus. See? Because that's around the witches. So horror, comedy, all kinds mixed together. All right, I'm going to leave you guys here. My belly's rumbling. I need to get something to nibble on. And I'm going to sit down for a little bit, and then I'm going to come back. I'll probably film some of this. Now, you guys can let me know, or maybe I'll put a poll out. I can continue with the Creep on June. Yeah, those are just scraps. Next Sunday, or we can put a break in it. So we could do Creep on June, or we can have fun with jelly plates, or we could just do ephemera. You know what? I think I'll decide Sunday morning next week. Just know that I will show where I get to, like I did last time. So this will kind of be that same setup that we did, where I filmed some of it, meaning film live, did some of it in the lives, but I don't want it to take up all the lives. So I may break out and do something different for you guys next week. Whether that's just some fun ephemera, having fun with decorating all of that, using our scraps, absolutely, because we can. Or breaking out the jelly plate. You never know. I've been itching for some reason to do the jelly plate. But maybe that's something we'll do in July. All right? So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate it. Cannot say thank you enough. I want you to enjoy your day, even though you might be cleaning. Hopefully, get into your space and craft. Have fun. Enjoy. Don't get frustrated. See, even though one of my journals got destroyed, we're not going to throw it out. We're going to repurpose. Yes, we are going to repurpose everything in every way. All right, so guys, thank you again. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for those of you that are in the community. I hope you're enjoying what's coming out in the communities on both levels. They will be wrapping up soon, and I will be continuing to add more into each month, just little bits. so that I can inspire you in those ways as well. So, guys, take care. Have a wonderful week. Continue to stay safe and healthy. I am grateful, I am thankful, and love you all. So, guys, take care, and I'll see you next week.